Thanks for joining us. Now, he thought it was a plane crash which had left debris flying all over the place that night. His wife also thought there was an imminent downpour. By the time they knew it, the ARCA family were many miles away from around the Hannah School complex area due to the gas explosion last Saturday. The preacher at the Hisbana Christian Center, Pastor Dan Acquah, recounts how the near escape has left his two children traumatized. They are, however, grateful they escaped. Joy News' Komla Adom has been speaking to the head of the ARCA family, who wants more to be done for affected persons.
So following from last Saturday's unfortunate incident, we are still chronicling survivor stories as well as stories of people who barely escaped the incidents. We are here in the premises of Reverend ARCA, who we are told barely, escaped the incidents. Just to get into his mind and find out how events unfolded from his perspective. So on that fateful day, Saturday, at about 7 p.m. thereabouts, where were you?
We're in the house as a family. We have two kids, and then we had two visitors from our church. So we had finished our supper and we're having a discussion. Then a few minutes after, I think around 7:30 thereabout, she said, no, something is happening. It looks like there is a heavy sound outside. So I came out to check. And when I came out to check, I realized that the sky was orange. And then we saw debris falling from the sky. It's like when you burn papers and then the wind blows them. So initially my thought was it could be a plane crash. And so I was looking at the scene and the change in the atmosphere. Then we could hear sounds, iradi, and we could hear quite a lot of people shouting. So I then recalled that no, this might be a gas or a fuel explosion, because I saw it was coming from this side of the house. And from here to Atomic is just about 400 meters. So, and it was very high. So I just called her to come out, my wife, and then we noticed that no, this could either be a gas explosion or one of the fuel stations might be burning.
So at this point, could you feel the impact of what was happening? Because we are told some people as far as Shashi Okonglo could feel the heat all over.
Oh yes, the moment we heard the second sound, boom, then the entire house became hot. In fact, the temperature had changed. Immediately, my wife said, no, we have to leave the house. So we carried the two kids.
Let me get into your mind at that material moment. Did you have any place in mind you were going to escape to?
Actually, the decision was we wanted to move a bit far away because we felt we were too close. So the next point that came to our mind is how to get a bit on the hill from here. And so we took to our hills, and then by the time we realized we were at taxi rank, Madina taxi rank, which is around Echo Bank, when we are heading towards social welfare. As we were going, we could see a lot of people, old women, pregnant women, people screaming on the way, people falling. It was a very horrific experience.
Now let's move a few hours after that.
Yes.
At what point did you return? Did you have any assurance that the situation was calm enough for you to return here?
We gained the assurance. God is an awesome God. As the moment we left the house, about 2 or 3 minutes, we saw that it was drizzling. So we felt, well, God has heard our prayers. So by the time we got to Echo Bank area around the social welfare, towards social welfare, we realized that it was raining. So we got a place and hid ourselves to return home, but then left the kids at our father-in-law's place.
Okay, at the time you were away, we heard stories that unscrupulous people were taking advantage of the situation to loot people's homes. Did you have any fear that your home was going to be raided?
Yes, we did. Because already we've had an attempt. We have about 3 robbery cases, and so we knew it was obvious. But Safety first. When we came back, still we felt traumatized. In fact, it's an experience you wouldn't like to go through. And the whole night, it was nightmare.
It has been a tough period for you. And then let's move forward to the next day. Okay. You began seeing pictures of people in the hospitals with various degrees of burns. And when you look at those pictures, what ran through your mind?
No, it's quite an unfortunate situation. And seeing the burns and then the casualties involved, I think to some large extent we should thank God, because it could have been worse than that. I think the casualty could have been more than what we are seeing. Thanks be to God, we're able to say. But in fact, when you look at the pictures, you first and foremost feel pity for the people who went through that. And then also you consider yourself to be very, very fortunate and blessed.
We are hearing the casualty figures are now pegged at 7, and tens of others are on admission still at various hospitals. We hear also today that government says they're going to foot the bill of the treatment of all these people. Do you think, from where you sit as a pastor, that these people will ever recover from this trauma that they've gone through?
As to whether the people will be able to recover from the trauma or not depends on how we handle them, help them revamp or revive themselves into society and to be able to do the very things they were able to do again. Because definitely some will be maimed and they may not be able to do the things they used to do again. What measures are we putting in place to help those people?
Meanwhile, Pastor ARCA is advocating psychological assistance for children in and around the enclave who have been permanently scarred by last Saturday's incident.
We should look at the bigger picture from that perspective, because a lot of children have been affected by this. We have 2 kids, and now when they are feeling sleepy and you're taking them to their room, they will tell you, Daddy, the fire will come again. Mommy, the fire will come again. So I think that we shouldn't just concentrate on those at the hospital. We should look at the children that have been affected.
So how are you dealing with your 2 kids in this instance? How are you?
As believers, we keep encouraging them with the word of God, the fact that Jesus is with you.
How old are you?
And the eldest was turning 6 years this month, and then the younger one is 4 years. And we keep telling them, Jesus is with you. Don't be afraid. We are also here with you. So my suggestion is that if the clinical psychologist could be employed to the schools in the affected areas to psych up the children, to let them know that what happened, they could overcome it. Because I'm much concerned about the children. You know what this could imprint on their minds as they grow. And so most of the children in this vicinity ought to be helped by pastors and clinical psychologists to be able to help them overcome what has happened.
Our traders and squatters along the Atomic Junction area are still counting their losses days after a gas explosion left over 100 persons injured and killed 7 others. Meanwhile, scores of victims who barely survived the blast are counting their blessings. In the following report, Komla Adum tells the story of a 46-year-old widow who's lost her livelihood to the incident with little hope of getting back on her feet.
Thank God for everything. That was the first thing. Even when I was crying, I was not crying just because of I was burned. I was crying the God mercy.
Godwin Okeke, one of the 40 victims of last Saturday's explosion, who were brought to a 37 military hospital, counting his blessings at another opportunity to take a shot at life again. It is the thought of escaping death that's serving as a consolation for many of the victims receiving treatment. It's late Monday and some relatives of those admitted are making their way to visit their relations at the 37 Military Hospital. We are currently here at the 37 Military Hospital, where some of the victims of last Saturday's Atomic Junction gas explosion were brought in, and we understand 12 of these victims are at the trauma unit, while some 5 others are at the allied ward. 2 others are in the ICU. But we'll be going in to speak to some of the victims at the allied ward to find out how they're feeling and what exactly the situation is.
I was on my way going home when the explosion happened. So I was among those people that were injured. There is someone at my back. He was burning to ashes. But God kept me alive. He knows the purpose He kept me.
Since you were brought in here, have you had any of your relatives pay you a visit? Do they know you are here?
Yeah, I called my dad. So my dad called my elder sister, which my elder sister was crying. So I have to come her down, tell her that I'm alive. So, but I have my cousin sister here. She goes to Zenith University. So she's the one only in Ghana. We are two. So she's the one who coming.
Godwin is not alone in pain. Roxin Ahmed was many miles away from the incident, he tells me. He is a commercial bus driver at the Dome station opposite the Total filling station. He survived by whiskers. He will later tell me amidst occasional sighs and moans. Obviously a man in pain.
Yeah, I did my juma Saturday, my juma. Until me will feel na me say a horse. Me de me car mobi. Timurashe oho. Say me kwhwe say boy na me de car na manono. Onu so wo hu bia because me friend na enko. Timi me de duna me du ono. Ana ade ne blast e. Dwan me dwan no.
He is a driver at the Atomic Junction station, the Kwabenya bus stop, and he tells us that when the incident happened, he was not at the accident venue. He was at home. He didn't go to work that day, but for some reason he had given his vehicle to one of his friends or his colleagues to go and work with. And so when he heard about the incident, he rushed to the venue to see if his friend who was using his car was safe. And when he got there, the second explosion happened and he found himself here. Despite a visit by his mom, he's alone with his thoughts in one of the 6 beds in this ward, immobilized and unable to move either foot. It's past 8 p.m. Monday night, and away from the hospital, 46-year-old Vicentia, who prior to the explosion operated a makeshift eatery close to the accident area, is fixing some food for her family. I'm going to be speaking to her about what she knows about the incident and how she's been coping days after the incident occurred.
Kana mi va to atati ko da kple kura le dura fi le va to mu le fi e pe no kata o fi o pete because no ajo nya kata mi si du mi hle.
All she's been saying is that on the day of the incident, once they saw the spark, they all ran for their lives, and so essentially all her wares, her money and everything was lost to the fire. And since morning she's not eating. She was just giving 5 CDs by a benevolent individual around here, and it is with that amount of money that she's been able to prepare some food for herself and her family. Medekuku ya waton glonami ega amount of money kemi or lose le event kemi me
le Saturday la nduru meno na fiota magwe benyere ka kwete de na dechi no le fie ta le Saturday mela meten plan no abe 900 ne me jire vola me kpona ne be Yehowa dasile nwunyira me tekpona be 14 aro 15 ka finye penu ya ogbele ne me bu ikopere wala ya be 200
Essentially, she's been saying again that she's the only one who prepares soup dishes around here, especially around the station on Saturdays. And so on that particular day, she had some food and she had purchased market stuff of about 900 CDs to prepare the dish for the day until the incident happened. So she estimates that an amount of 2,000 CDs has been lost through this particular accident.
Okay, kama mi ide overhead e goma. Hey mi ide overhead e goma la. Ya ungulu ya pe nya opete, ope nuka ogble. Nuka ogble nu ya ne flede, ko nene nu onye. Nu ne jire de nene na akpo. ya obia mu ye megbule ale megbule le fiko de na mako megbule tututu ye ma be meplenu 900 ya me ne megire na be anu asikomla do metekpona fi 14 15 hafi nu ya ogbule meko buipe be ya gbule meko buiko.
Officials were here earlier to speak to those who live around here and do business around here to find out how much money or the value of the things they've lost through this particular incident. She's just been telling us that she told officials that if she calculates the amounts of profits margin she makes on a particular round of food or dishes that she makes in a day, she's
quite a moving story there. Now, we now bring you some never before seen footage of a Saturday night explosion. Some of these videos were taken even before the Ghana National Fire Service arrived at the scene.
This is a filling station burning at Junction. A filling station. And the gas has flown, so many people have already collapsed. And they are waiting for the... But they could not quench the fire off, so they are at back, 100 meters away from the fire.
So in your shots there is that scene of the Mansco gas fuel station, the filling station. Next door to them is a Total filling station. You can see a car ablaze there in your shots. If you look closely, particularly at the bottom left corner of the screen, they just came in briefly. You see that there are some onlookers there. Standing very close to the carnage. At this point, this is the overpass, the road up there, and you can see that at that point the authorities have begun arriving. People have started running away from the scene. Let's listen to the onlookers that night.
Fire. And we will see, we are still watching the radio of the fire. They are taking people away from the fire.
We'll bring you more of these exclusive videos during Joy News specials. Stay tuned to Joy News.